Most traders don't fail because of a bad strategy. They fail because they never built a real system. Right now, somewhere in the world, a trader is staring at a red screen, promising himself, just one more trade, just one more. I know that feeling. You probably do too. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why that never works and what actually does. Let me start with a question. How many of you have had a strategy that worked perfectly on paper, passed every backtest, looked clean on TradingView, and then fell completely apart the moment real money was involved? If that's you, stay right here. Because the problem was never your strategy. The problem was, you never built a system around it. Here is the hard truth that nobody in the trading education space wants to say out loud. Your brain is not built for trading. That is not an insult. That is biology. The human brain was designed to avoid pain and seek immediate reward. But profitable trading requires you to take small losses quickly, hold winners patiently, and do nothing when everything inside you is screaming to act. Those two things are directly at war with each other. Every single day you sit down at that screen, you are fighting your own nervous system. And without a system, your nervous system wins every single time. So what is a trading system? A real one. Not just an entry signal or an indicator combination. A complete trading system is a set of rules that covers every decision you make before, during, and after a trade. It removes choice from the equation. When you have a system, you don't decide whether to enter a trade. You check your rules. You don't decide whether to exit. You check your rules. You don't decide whether to revenge trade after a loss. Your rules say no. Done. The system decides. You just execute. Now let me break down what that system actually looks like in practice. There are 5 pillars every working trading system must have. The first pillar is your setup criteria. This is your entry rule, not a feeling, not a hunch, not because a stock is moving fast and you don't want to miss it, a specific, repeatable, testable condition. For example, price breaks above a 20-day high with above average volume after a period of consolidation. That is a setup. That is testable. You can go back over hundreds of trades and see exactly how often it works. Most traders skip this step. They have a vague idea. I look for breakouts, but they cannot tell you the exact conditions. If you cannot write your entry rule in one clear sentence, you don't have a rule. You have a guess. The second pillar is your risk rule. Before you ever enter a trade, you must know exactly how much you are willing to lose on it. Not hope to lose. Not are comfortable losing. Willing to lose as a business expense if the trade goes wrong. Professional traders think in percentages. Most retail traders think in dollar amounts when they're winning and forget to think at all when they're losing. The standard in professional trading is to risk no more than 1 to 2% of your total account on any single trade. That sounds small. It feels small. And that is exactly why it works. When you risk 2% per trade, you can have 10 consecutive losing trades and still be in the game. When you risk 20% per trade, which most beginners do without realizing it, 2 bad trades and you're done. The third pillar is your exit strategy. This is where most traders completely fall apart. Getting in is exciting. Getting out is where you make or lose money. There are 2 types of exits, your stop loss and your profit target. Your stop loss is where the trade is wrong, not where it hurts, not where you panic, where the trade is objectively wrong according to your setup. If you entered a breakout trade and price falls back inside the range, the trade is wrong. Get out. Don't adjust the stop. Don't tell yourself it'll come back. Get out. Your profit target is where the trade has done what it was supposed to do. Take the profit. Don't hold on because you're greedy. Don't cut it early because you're scared. Follow the plan. The plan was made with a clear head. You made it before the pressure started. Trust it. The fourth pillar is your review process. Every professional trader I have ever studied keeps a trading journal. Not because it feels good, because it is the only way to learn at scale. After every single trade, you write down the setup, the entry, the exit, the result, and, most importantly, whether you followed your rules. Here is the key insight that will save you years of pain. A losing trade that followed your rules is a success. A winning trade that broke your rules is a failure. Read that again. The goal is not to make money on each individual trade. The goal is to execute your system correctly on each individual trade. The money comes from running the system hundreds of times over months and years. If you have a system that wins 60% of the time with a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, and you run it correctly for 300 trades, the math works in your favor. But you will never get there if you keep overriding your rules every time you feel emotional. The fifth pillar is your mental pre-routine. Before you trade, you need to be in a neutral mental state. Not excited, not anxious, not angry from yesterday's loss. Neutral. Elite traders treat the open the same way elite athletes treat warm-up. It is a process, not just a moment. Review your plan for the day. Review your risk limits. Remind yourself of the 1 or 2 setups you are actually watching. Everything else is noise. Close the financial news. The noise is designed to make you emotional, and emotional traders make mistakes. If you wake up stressed, sleep deprived, or carrying frustration from a losing day, you do not have to trade. Not trading is a position. It is sometimes the best position you can take. Now I want to talk about the biggest trap that destroys more traders than any bad strategy ever could. It is called outcome dependency. Outcome dependency is when your emotional state depends on whether the trade wins or loses. You feel confident when you're winning. You feel stupid when you're losing. You break your rules when you're down because you need to make it back. You over-leverage when you're up because you feel invincible. This is the cycle. This is what keeps traders trapped for years. The professionals who survive long enough to actually compound wealth, they are not emotionless. They feel everything. But they are not moved by individual results. They are tracking their process. They are asking, did I follow my system? Not? Did I make money today? There is a concept that Mark Douglas, one of the most important thinkers in trading psychology, spent his entire career teaching. He called it thinking in probabilities. Your edge is not a guarantee. It is a probability that plays out over a large sample of trades. Any single trade is essentially random. You can do everything right and still lose. You can do everything wrong and still win. But over 300 trades, your edge shows up in the numbers. Professionals know this. They accept the uncertainty of individual trades because they trust the math of their system over time. This is a complete mental shift, and most traders never make it. Let me give you a real example of what this looks like. Two traders each have the same system, same setup, same rules, same edge. Trader A follows the system. She takes every valid setup. She exits according to her rules. She doesn't add to losing trades. She doesn't move her stop to avoid a loss. After 6 months of trading, she has taken 320 trades. She's had losing months. She's had drawdowns that felt terrible, but she kept executing. After 6 months, her system has played out. Her account is up 22%. Trader B has the same system, but he overrides it constantly. He skips trades that he has a bad feeling about. He moves his stop when a trade goes against him because he's sure it'll come back. He doubles his size after a win because he's feeling confident. After 6 months of trading, Trader B has taken about 80 trades, half as many because he kept second-guessing entries. He's blown his stop multiple times. His account is down 31%. Same system, completely different results. The system was never the problem. Here's what I want you to take from this video. Stop looking for a better strategy. There are thousands of profitable strategies. Any one of them can make you money if you execute it correctly and consistently over time. The search for a better setup is a way of avoiding the real work, which is building the mental and structural discipline to actually follow a system. Stop chasing profit and start chasing process. Profit is the outcome of a good process run consistently. Chase the process. Here is your action plan, and I want you to write this down. 1. Write out your setup criteria in one clear sentence. If you can't do it in one sentence, it is not clear enough yet. 2. Define your exact risk per trade as a percentage of your account. Commit to never crossing that line. 3. Define your stop loss and profit target before you enter any trade. No exceptions. 4. Open a trading journal today. Free spreadsheet notebook doesn't matter. After every trade, record the setup, result, and whether you followed your rules. 5. Create a 2-minute pre-session routine. Before you look at the market, review your plan, your risk, your 1 or 2 setups. Everything else is noise. That is the system. It is not exciting. It does not promise you'll double your account in 30 days. But it is what works. The traders who are still in this game 10 years from now will not be the ones who found a secret strategy. They will be the ones who built a system, trusted it, and had the discipline to keep running it when every emotion told them to stop. If this hit different today, leave a comment below. Tell me the one thing you are going to change about your trading process after watching this. I read every comment. Subscribe if you want more real talk about trading. No hype, no promises, just what actually works. I'll see you in the next one.